Hi, welcome to SBR Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. This is our regular MLB series betting preview call that we do with Troy West regularly, and Troy and I have both been doing very well in these calls recently. Today is Wednesday, July 9th, and right now we're going to take a look at the upcoming series for this weekend, the last set of games before the All-Star break. Troy West, thanks for being back with us.
Hey, thanks a lot, Pete. I appreciate it. You know, I don't have our exact record, but just kind of skimming back to last week, I feel like we were successful once again. AllPlaysWin.com has been successful now for the last few months. We've been on fire. Really encourage viewers to come take a look. Outstanding customer service. But, hey, Pete, you've been doing a good job, too. We may be hiring here before football season if you're looking for a job.
I know at your site you told me you had an awesome May, right? An awesome June. How have things been going in the first week of July?
Now, the first early part of July was outstanding. You know, we've just been kind of picking our spots, Pete, and tailing the Seattle Mariners, picking some unders with the Seattle Mariners. If you keep an eye on some of these scores, Pete, again last night, 2-0. Two guys that, you know, Phil Hughes and Chris Young. Most people think over. People can't hit in Safeco Field. We went under again, another winner. You know, you just really got to pay real close attention to picking spots. Over the last few days, we've been right around that 500 mark, but we started out July hot. Overall, July 9th, we've had a winning month so far. Hope to continue it and continue our success throughout the month of July. I think baseball season has a ton of value going on right now, Pete.
All right, well, thanks for doing all these calls with us, Troy. The first series I want to discuss with you is Yanks at Baltimore. Now, Baltimore's been winning, of course, recently, playing very well, and they're now plus 12.5% ROI on the year. That's second best in baseball. They've been especially good in June and July. And the Yanks are just kind of a mediocre team, kind of a lukewarm team that, I'm not necessarily auto-fading them, but I'm very happy to, I feel very comfortable betting against them if they're going up against a team that I want to bet on. And, Baltimore has had some problems at home, but they have been winning at home in July. They already swept Texas at home this month, and Texas, to me, is a very similar team to the Yankees. I know Tanaka's probably going to start on Sunday, but despite that, I think we lean Baltimore this series. Do you agree, Troy West?
Yeah, I would agree with you. I'm not going to go officially and go with Baltimore. I think this might be an overfest. This Baltimore Orioles bats are surely coming alive. We know a hell of a lot about the Yankee pitching staff. Other than Tanaka, extremely inconsistent. It looks like they're really starting to try out a lot of the guys coming up from the minor leagues. So it is difficult to bet against those guys. You don't know sure what to expect. But the Yankees starting staff's been inconsistent. Chris Davis seems to be coming alive. This team's been hitting good pitching now. They just showed it here in Washington, beating up on Strasburg and having that 6 run. I think this team's really started to carry momentum. But I hate to not go against the Yankees, so I'm actually going to take officially, Pete, and go overs in that series. I think both teams, weak pitching, two very good lineups. I think the bats are, and both these lineups are hot right now. I'm going to go over in that series.
All right. You want to put that on your official record?
Yeah, we'll put that on official.
And you want to include the Sunday game where Tanaka might be starting for the Yankees?
You know, I will include that. Tanaka looked a little bit vulnerable against Cleveland. He might get 7.5. If Tanaka hasn't looked like Tanaka the last couple outings, I will include that one as well. So we'll go at least 2 out of the 3 go over in that series.
All right, and I'll take Baltimore in that series. In the second series, I want to discuss Washington at Philly, and Philly is a team that kind of in many years is overvalued at home, and that has been the case this year. They're minus 22% ROI at home on the year, so I'm always looking to fade Philly at home when they're playing against a team that's a live team, which I think Washington is here. Their offense is back. They've started to win. They were kind of sluggish earlier in the year, but they've been very profitable in June and July. Do we lean Washington here?
Yeah, I'm going to lean Washington. This is a Washington team that I really like to bet. I think Philly, once again, looks like they're at that point in the season where they have folded. Pitching staff's inconsistent. Bullpen's inconsistent. They're not getting any production out of the big veterans like Chase Utley, Ryan Howard, any of those guys that just seem to be dead at this point. Washington, I think, has got a lot to play for. That starting staff's really starting to come together. I love what Jordan Zimmerman done. I know he's 6-4, but 2.79. If they get the Steven Strasburg, that is Steven Strasburg, this is a team I think that could make a serious World Series push. I know they're 48-40, but hey, I think they get going. I think Philly's a good series to do it, so we'll go with Washington.
Okay, good to hear that you're in agreement with me on those 2 series. And then there's 2 series where I'm thinking about maybe the totals. Let me get your take on them if you like. Both of them, neither of them, or just one of them. The first one, Arizona at San Francisco. I'm thinking about unders here. Now, San Francisco's actually been a very slight overtrender at home on the year, and they are getting healthier on offense, but I'm still always leaning towards taking unders in series at San Francisco when they're hosting a light hitting team like Arizona. And Arizona's been a slight undertrender on the road this year, so I'm thinking maybe unders with Arizona and San Francisco. And then I'm thinking overs with the Angels at Texas. And the Angels and Texas are two of the top 5 over trenders in the league overall. The Angels are number 4, 56% overs on the year, and Texas number 5 at 55% overs on the year. And I know the Texas home game is going under for a while, but in June and July, they've started to go over. They're 11-6 over-under at home in June and July. And also, Yu Darvish won't be starting in this series because he's starting today, Wednesday the 9th. So I'm thinking overs in the Angels and Texas. What do you think of those two series?
Yeah, no, I'll completely agree with you in both of them, Pete.
Okay.
The Giants starting pitching, we'll start with that. The unders, outstanding all the time, outstanding. Tim Lincecum's really starting to look like the old Tim Lincecum, which is a huge plus for this Giants team if they want any chance to contend with the Dodgers here at the end. But I just think, yeah, the starting pitching of that team and the way their lineup's just been so inconsistent. We were a part of that series against the Padres, and my God, just consistently, no runs or 1 run throughout that whole series. So I think that could continue. They're going to have Lincecum going Friday, Vogelsong going Saturday. And we know the Diamondbacks, the inconsistency of that team. So I do like the unders in that series. And I'll also agree with you. Texas, my goodness, that starting staff is about as bad as it gets. The Angels may put those totals over by themselves in that series. So I'll completely agree with you in both those, Pete.
Troy West from allplayswin.com. Good to hear that. I think we might have some value in this final weekend before the All-Star break. What do you have to discuss with us that you think might have some value that you've looked at?
I think this is going to be the best series probably all season long, Pete, and that's Oakland at Seattle. This is going to be an outstanding series. Oakland on Friday night is going to throw out Jeff Samardzija against Felix Hernandez. Felix actually got pushed back so he could make this start. I think that total may be the lowest total in the MLB this year. I would not be surprised to see that thing at 5 or even 4.5. I'm not kidding you. I'm going to actually go with Seattle to win that series. They're going to have Felix Hernandez going Friday night in front of a sellout crowd. I like Seattle to get that game. And then as you move into the series, you're going to get Taijuan Walker going and possibly Iwakuma. So I think Seattle at home in that series, I like it. I think they will be right around the underdog value or right around -110. So I think Seattle gets it done, but I think that's a very exciting series to keep an eye on.
All right, I'll tell you what makes me nervous. Now, Seattle, of course, I think they're number 4 right now in terms of ROI in baseball, but Oakland's number 1, 12.7% ROI on the year. And I just, unless I have some sign that that team has been, doing poorly very recently, I hate to bet against the most profitable team in baseball ever.
I hear you. No, I would totally agree with you, Pete. This is more betting the pitching matchups. I think if you have the opportunity on Friday night to bet Felix Hernandez, you do it. Right. And then on Saturday, Taijuan Walker, he's 1-1 so far to start the year, but pitched outstanding in his last outing. Hasn't had an opportunity to pitch at home this year. So I think there's finally some liveliness around Seattle, and the fact that they are at home with good pitching, I think they could be good in this series.
All right, Troy West from allplayswin.com. Thanks so much for your thoughts, and we'll talk to you again very soon.